Hello and welcome to Pat Baer's Anime Club. This is every other Monday I put out a new video where I talk about shows or a concept or a theme or a genre. Or, just something about anime that I want to chat about, for 10 to 30 minutes or so. Thanks for everybody that watched live in person or the video of the first ever Pat Baer's Anime Club live show that we did at PAX East. So yeah, check that out in the YouTubes there, youtube.com/PatBaer if you want to watch that, if you missed it. But let's talk about the bait and switch. Now, when I talk about bait and switch, I do not mean, oh, it turns out this main character had a legendary destiny. Or it turns out the main character isn't really the most important character, it was the other character. Or a show that came out 2 years ago, I will not say which one, turns out that she's a figment, she's a wish someone else made. She's not a real person. Oh. There will be spoilers about shows, and as I mention a show, I will say again, hey, big spoilers about this show. So you have been warned about that. If you don't want any spoilers at all about the 4 anime I'm going to be talking about here that pull the bait and switch, just understand that. So here's the thing. Sometimes shows go further. Now, most of the time, it seems like, anyway, it presents itself as oh, this is a slice of life. But it's not. There's more to it. In one instance, that's not the case. The other 3, that is the case. It is presented as a slice of life, but turns out other stuff's going on there. So let's talk about those 4 shows. Again, spoilers. So many spoilers. Because I'm going to say what the twist is on them. The first one is the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. I don't often say that out loud. Haruhi Suzumiya. Haruhi is the leader of the SOS Brigade. She's looking for aliens and time travelers and espers because she doesn't want to live in a boring world. She wants to live in a world where those things exist. And we've got our main dude. He is the main dude in a slice of life anime. He comes in, he does his thing. He's like, I used to be into that stuff, whatever. He's the foil for her antics. And we're going to explore as she gets into a bunch of stuff and he has to poke holes in it and save her from ordinary problems, not extraordinary problems, right? Because it's a slice of life. And that's what we're doing here. That's not what we're doing here. And if you don't want to know stuff, then you can just move on. The other members of the SOS Brigade are a time traveler, a robot built by aliens, and an esper. And they all believe that they must keep Haruhi entertained and not let her get bored and use the powers that she has, which could completely undo their reality because she is a god. And I said this because, oh, it turns out the main character is a god is how a lot of anime ends. Oh, it turns out this special person, they're even more special than originally thought. Like, that's how a lot of shows end. But this is a slice of life that ostensibly is a shonen. But yeah, it's awesome and weird. And then it goes even weirder, right? So not only do they bait and switch you, but everything's out of order. The first season has weird holes and jumps around and is in a non-linear order. And then the second season, with new animation, is actually filling in the holes. And there's a chronological order and a showrun order. And it works, and then it works. And I am not here to argue with you about which way you should watch it. You watch it however you want. I think you should watch it broadcast order, and then you should watch it chronological order, but you can do it however you like to do it. The thing that I want to say about it is that it blindsides you. It just gets weird, and then it gets weirder, and then it gets weirder. And it does, look, there's silliness, there's jokes at a sexual expense because it's high school and there's bunny girls and characters that have murderous intent and action scenes and it looks like it's going to fall apart and there's romance and it's all of the It is still a slice of life. It's just the best slice of it. If you wish that slice of life weren't so laid back or boring, this is your slice of life. Congratulations, watch this. Because it still has some vibes. It's not an act. It is an act. It's a lot of things. And it rules. Now, a show that presents itself as perhaps maybe for children, but it's not for children, is this one. Now, you're saying to yourself, Pat, oh, really? An anime that explores the possible dark side of magical girls. Oh, Madoka Magica. Yeah. This is a dime a dozen. Yeah. Oh, and actually, what if this is fucked up? Is a subgenre, but you didn't expect it when it came out. You never thought. Maybe you had. Most people haven't. Most people take Sailor Moon as like this rules, which it does. But they don't look at the dark sides of it. They don't look at the ends of it. The things that go into it that are like, yeah, why are these are young girls given these powers and given these responsibilities, and oh yeah, they murder people in some instances. Sometimes they don't, but they hurt people. They take losses. There are consequences, and it really looks at it as like the reason why. Of course, it's beautifully animated, and I think it's a great story. Yeah, it is a bait and switch in that it is presented as being awesome, like oh, look at this beautifully rendered magical girl show. You know, hey, watch Pretty Sammy if you want a no consequences magical girl. Pretty Sammy is the magical girl spin-off of Tenchi Muyo, and I think it's one of the best examples of a magical girl show that is high on comedy and low on drama. This is high on drama and brutality. It is fucked. And then speaking of fucked, let's talk about another example of the slice of life that is not a slice of life, whereas Melancholy and is like keeps those slice of life elements but goes into the fantastical realm and the action realm. There's action in this one. When They Cry, Higurashi presents itself as just a motherfucking adorable slice of life. Look at that art. Look at these characters. Look at their features. Now, you might be looking at this art. If you've never seen When They Cry, you're looking at this art and you're going, wait, why do I know at least one of those girls? And that's because you've probably watched a YouTube compilation of When Bullies Get Theirs or whatever. When anime girls fight back or one of those. Because there's some brutality in this show. Because it's not a slice of life. It is a psychological, supernatural thriller of alternate realities and repeated tragedies and trying to stop an evil entity and risking it all to make sure that you can right the wrongs. It's not about a dude that moves to a small town in the mountains and hangs out with a bunch of nice young ladies and has a good time and figures things out and grows. I mean, it is that, but it's also fucked. It's really fucked. I was definitely intrigued by the show when I would watch those clips, like the aforementioned YouTube clips, the compilations. You watch those and you see what's that show? What's happening right now? It's a lot. Viewer discretion is advised. There are awful moments in Magica, but I think this one is rough, and yeah, it's pretty fucked. Whew. And then the last one, the reason I'm doing this video, is a show that not only is a bait and switch, but I think uses the genre that it pretends to be to greater effect than any other show here. And that's Gakkou Gurashi, which is also called School Live. Uh, and giant spoilers about this show, because if you haven't seen it, just watch the first episode. Watch the preview of episode 2. If you don't want to be spoiled, I've already told you that it's more than just a slice of life. So you can watch it like that, and you can come back to this video if you want. If you're fine with being spoiled, if you've seen this show, I'll tell you right now. It's only a slice of life in the mind of one character. Our main character, who is living in a fantasy version of reality, a fantasy world, because reality is that everything is broken and zombies are real, and the young ladies and their teacher are living in a school and doing their best to survive in the post-zombie apocalypse. And the first episode is letting you know that our main lady doesn't think about that. She is going through a psychosis. It already starts as a weird thing, because you have some ladies here living in the school. They live in the school. That's their club, is that they live in the school, and that doesn't seem right. But you let it go, because anime's anime, and it's weird. And there are little things. You can pick up little things the first episode. Windows that seem actually broken, and some mentions of going home that don't seem right. And some characters that feel kind of sad. And it's... Oops. Sorry about that. And it is a really engaging, interesting show. I think that, like, if you haven't watched it and now you're like, okay, I want to check this out, it is engaging and like really interesting. I literally am like looking up. It's Yuki. Don't watch the live action version of this, because they fucking ruin it. Because I'm going to tell you a thing. I mean, I've spoiled the show. You never really get a good look at the zombies. The zombies are, maybe that's because of her psychosis or you, the viewer, but you never get a super, Yuki, you never get a super clear look at the zombies. They're blurry. And I think it adds to this whole, like, what's real and what isn't element to it, as these characters grow and change and start to rely on each other. And at first they're putting on airs to continue the lie, and then they can't be in the lie anymore. It is a fantastic show. Is the reason I'm doing this category, because it is a mind fuck. Because a friend of mine said, watch the first episode, do not Google this show, just watch the first episode. And I was like, oh, yeah, I love slice of life. This rules. Oh, this is cute. I love this girl's hat. I like this dog. Oh, they live in a school. That's weird. Oh, okay. Why? I don't know why she has a shovel all the time. That's weird. But, like, yeah, this is fun. And then I was like, wait, what's happening? What is this? Oh, God. Oh, God. I've never read the manga. I hear the manga is excellent, and it might actually be better. So, that is the shows. You'll see in the show description below, I listed the 4 shows we're talking about here. They're available in various methods on the internet to watch. I believe all 4 are. I recommend all 4 of them. If you thought of a bait and switch. Now, again, I'm not including shows that are just like, oh, it's an action show, and it turns out that the main character was a ghost the whole time. Like, I'm not looking at that kind of thing. Or, we talked about Another. Another has some reveals, but they're not the same thing. Future Diary gets more and more fucked up, but that show's still fucked, and it's still within the premise of the show. I'm not looking at, like, hour 12 reveals. I'm talking about, like, bait and switches. Like, this is not a slice of life. This is, like, a psychological coping with a post-apocalyptic event. Okay? Like, that's what we're talking about. Oh boy, things are yeah. I'm now just like, ooh, in a way. Also, hey, I researched. I did my due diligence. Has there ever been a show that presented itself as being like an action or a psychological thriller or something like that, and then it turned out to be a slice of life? Is there any example of that where like that wasn't the hook of the show, that was the twist reveal? Because I couldn't think of one. If that exists, if there's a show that was secretly a slice of life, let me know. Um, because I would love to hear it. But thanks so much for watching this video. What we got going on here? Ooh, yeah, 16 minutes. Okay, not bad, not bad. Um, I post all kinds of videos on YouTube. I do a week. This is my twice a month series. I do a weekly series where I rank things. I stream on Twitch at least 3 times a week, often 4 or 5. So check that out. Thanks for watching. If you have any ideas of things you'd like to see in the future, my next video is going to be a preview of the April season. We're in spring. Anime is going to come out. God willing, I think it will. Some things will be postponed, but a lot of things seem like they'll just be out and then suddenly go on hiatus. But leave me comments, if you're excited about the returns of like Food Wars, or if you're more excited about new shows like The Eighth Son, or My Life is a Villainous, stuff like that. I'm going to be talking about that in 2 weeks. Thanks so much for watching, and yeah, I hope you walk away with a new show that you can appreciate, or I said something that you've been waiting to talk about, but you didn't want to spoil it for other people. Bye-bye.